I don't think she'll be caught this time, but the gap was too big. The Americans successfully defend the
2 years ago, Femke Bol from the Netherlands was winning the race and about to get the gold medal. American runner Alexis Holmes was way behind, trying her best to catch up. But when these two women raced again in Tokyo, things were totally different. This time, Holmes was the one winning from start to finish. The mixed 4x400-meter relay is still finding its feet as an event. It only started at the World Championships in 2019, but it's already delivered some of the most dramatic moments in track and field history. And the Tokyo 2025 Championships, they just added another unforgettable chapter. Going into this race, the United States had every reason to be nervous. Sure, they dominated early on, winning that first World Championship in 2019 with a world record, but then came 2022 in Eugene, where they could only manage bronze on home soil. The Netherlands was rising, and their anchor runner Femke Bol was becoming a household name. Then Budapest 2023 happened, the race that nobody could forget. Bol had put the Dutch team in the perfect position. She was flying down that home straight, pulling away from American anchor Alexis Holmes. Gold seemed certain, until it wasn't. With just 5 meters to go, Bol's body gave out. She cramped up, stumbled, and hit the track hard. Holmes crossed the line for American gold while Bol lay on the ground. After the race, Bol couldn't hide her disappointment. She said she cramped toward the finish line and was pushing as hard as she could. She apologized to her team, saying she should have finished it off and that it sucked big time. The Americans had stolen victory from the jaws of defeat with a world record time of 3 minutes, 8.8 seconds. But that wasn't the end of the story. The Netherlands got their revenge at the Paris Olympics in 2024. This time, Bol stayed on her feet and anchored the Dutch team to victory over the United States. Suddenly, the Americans were the ones looking for redemption heading into Tokyo. The Japan National Stadium in Tokyo, the same venue where some of these American athletes had tasted Olympic glory before. The mixed relay had become appointment television, and everyone wanted to see what would happen when these two powerhouse teams met again. The American team looked strong on paper. Bryce Deadmon would open things up. He's no stranger to relay gold, already having Olympic silver and bronze in this event, plus 2 world titles in the men's 4x400. Lynna Irby-Jackson would run the second leg. She knew this track well, having won Olympic gold in the mixed relay right here in Tokyo 4 years earlier. For the third leg, they chose Jenoah McKiver, a former University of Florida standout who had been running fast times all season, and anchoring Alexis Holmes, the woman who had been there in Budapest when everything went crazy. She knew what it felt like to inherit a hopeless situation and somehow find a way to win. The Dutch team was built around one superstar. Femke Bol is not just any runner. She holds the indoor world record in the 400 meters and is the reigning world champion in the 400-meter hurdles. When she gets the baton in her hands, magical things tend to happen. The question was whether the Americans could build a big enough lead to keep her from working her magic again. Race day arrived, and the atmosphere in Tokyo was electric. 8 teams lined up, but everyone knew this was really about 2 countries. The United States and the Netherlands had been trading victories for years, and this felt like the ultimate showdown. From the gun, things looked different than Budapest. South Africa's Gardeo Isaacs actually ran the fastest opening leg at 44.57 seconds, giving his team an early lead. But Deadmon kept the Americans close, running smart, and positioning his team perfectly for what was to come. The race really started to take shape on the second leg. Irby-Jackson took the baton and immediately went to work. She ran 49.18 and suddenly the Americans were in front. The Dutch tried to respond through Lynna Irby-Jackson, who ran 49.55, but the gap was already starting to open. This wasn't going to be another last-minute thriller. Then came the moment that decided everything. McKiver took the baton for the third leg and absolutely exploded. His 43.91 split was the fastest leg anyone ran in the entire race. By the time he handed off to Holmes, the Americans had opened up a massive lead. This wasn't Budapest all over again. This was something completely different. Holmes had a completely different job this time around. In Budapest, she had to chase down Bol and hope for a miracle. In Tokyo, she just had to bring it home. She ran a controlled 49-something split and crossed the line with over a second to spare. The Americans had won gold again, and they'd done it by tying the championship record at 3 minutes 8.80 seconds. Behind them, Bol did what she does best. She ran an outstanding anchor leg of 50.06 to bring the Netherlands home for silver in 3 minutes 9.96 seconds. There was no drama this time, no last-second collapse. She had run brilliantly, but the Americans were simply too good on this night. The bronze medal went to Belgium in 3 minutes 10.61 seconds, and it was a special moment for them. This was their first global medal in the mixed relay, and they had earned it the hard way. Helena Ponette timed her anchor leg perfectly, edging past Poland by just 0.02 of a second. After finishing 5th at the 2023 World Championships, 4th at the European Championships, and 4th at the Olympics, Belgium finally got their reward. After crossing the line, the emotions were clear. Holmes talked about how every time they compete for the United States, they want to leave with the gold medal. As long as everyone handles their leg, she said, they're always going to do the best they can. She was excited about the victory and said she doesn't take any opportunity to compete for Team USA for granted. Deadmon, who had set everything up with that opening leg, was full of confidence afterward. He said that with his 3 teammates behind him, he knew he was going to be all right. His message to them was simple: trust yourselves. They had been running 400s all year, and if they did the same thing they'd been doing, everything would work out as it was supposed to. Even Bol seemed at peace with the result. She admitted it was a bit chaotic at the beginning, but said that's how they like relays. The team had put her in a great position, and they just tried to catch up. There was no disappointment this time, just acceptance that the Americans had been better. This victory meant everything for the United States program. After that disappointing bronze in Eugene and the Olympic loss in Paris, they needed to prove they were still the standard in this event. The mixed 4x400 might be newer than other relays, but it's quickly becoming one of the most competitive and exciting events in track and field. The numbers tell the story of American dominance. They've now won 3 of the 4 world championships in this event. That consistency at the highest level shows this isn't just about having 1 or 2 great runners. It's about depth, about having multiple athletes who can perform when the lights are brightest. McKiver's 43.91 split was the perfect example. He came in as the least known member of the team, but when his moment came, he delivered the performance of his life. That's what makes relay racing so special. Individual talent matters, but it's about how 4 people come together to create something greater than the sum of their parts. In Tokyo, we saw the United States execute their game plan to perfection. They built an early lead, extended it through the middle legs, and brought it home safely. It was the exact opposite of the chaos and drama that had defined their previous meetings with the Netherlands.
Got company, Clayton going well to her side, but Melissa Jefferson Wooden streaks away in the closing stages, 10:61.
This 24-year-old girl from a small South Carolina town once put her athletic dreams on hold to save her father's life. 7 years later, she just ran the 4th fastest time in women's 100-meter history and absolutely destroyed the best sprinters on the planet. On Sunday night at the World Athletics Championships, Melissa Jefferson Wooden didn't just win the women's 100 meters. She completely destroyed the field with a performance that sent shockwaves through the athletics world. Running 10.61 seconds, she set a new championship record and became the 4th fastest woman in history. But this story goes way deeper than just fast times. 7 years ago, Jefferson Wooden made a choice that changed everything. When she was just 17, her father was diagnosed with a rare blood condition that threatened his life. Without hesitation, she stepped forward as a stem cell donor, putting her sporting dreams on hold for 2 years to save the man who raised her. That decision, made in a small seaport town called Georgetown in South Carolina, would shape the champion we saw dominating in Tokyo. Fast forward to 2025, and Jefferson Wooden entered these world championships as the hunter, not the hunted. She'd never won an individual global title before, despite winning bronze at the Paris Olympics and helping Team USA claim gold in the relay. All season long, she'd been perfect in the 100 meters. Not once had she lost. Not once had she even run slower than 11 seconds. The girl from Georgetown had turned herself into an unstoppable force. The build-up to Sunday's final was intense. Jefferson Wooden wasn't just running fast times randomly. She'd lowered her personal best by nearly 0.2 of a second this season after dealing with injuries in 2024. She'd completely changed her approach to training, working with a chef, and even giving up her beloved Culver's burgers. Every detail mattered now. Standing in her way was a loaded field. Julian Alfred, the Olympic champion from St. Lucia, had been talking confidently about adding another gold to her collection. The defending world champion Sha'Carri Richardson was desperate to bounce back from a tough season. Jamaica's Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, the 38-year-old legend with 10 world sprint titles, was making her final individual appearance before retirement. And then there was 21-year-old Tina Clayton from Jamaica, representing the next generation of Caribbean sprinting. The semifinal showed us exactly what was coming. While Alfred looked comfortable posting the fastest qualifying time, Jefferson Wooden responded with the fastest semifinal time of 10.73, and she made it look easy. Richardson had her own drama, stumbling badly at the start and falling meters behind before using her famous top-end speed to qualify in third place. But Sunday's final belonged to one person from the moment the gun fired. Alfred actually had the fastest reaction time at 0.169 seconds, but something was wrong. She'd pulled her hamstring during warm-ups, and you could see it affecting her from the first few steps. Meanwhile, Jefferson Wooden exploded from the blocks like she'd been shot from a cannon. By the 50-meter mark, she was in complete control. What happened next was pure domination. Jefferson Wooden didn't just run away from the field, she floated away from them. As the race unfolded, it became clear that nobody was going to catch the American. She opened up a gap that kept growing with every stride. When Jefferson Wooden crossed the finish line, the numbers on the scoreboard told the whole story: 10.61 seconds, a new championship record, the fourth fastest time in history. She'd beat in second place by 0.15 seconds, which is a massive margin in sprinting. For context, that's the second biggest winning margin in World Championships history. After the race, Jefferson Wooden could barely contain her emotions. She admitted that once she got out ahead, the rest of the race felt like it went by in a blink of an eye. When she crossed the line, her first thought was simply, "Oh wow, I won." Then she saw her time and reality hit her. She'd just run 10.61 and become a world champion. The podium told the story of sprinting's changing landscape. Clayton took silver with a personal best of 10.76, becoming the youngest ever medalist in the women's 100 at a World Championships. At just 21, she proved that Jamaica's sprinting factory is still producing incredible talent. Alfred managed bronze despite her injury, running 10.84 and securing St. Lucia's first ever World Championships medal. Richardson, the defending champion, could only manage fifth place with 10.94. It was her first time under 11 seconds all season, but it wasn't nearly enough. Jackson finished fourth in 10.88, while the great Fraser-Pryce ended her individual career with sixth place in 11.03. The crowd gave the Jamaican legend the biggest cheers of the night as she was introduced, recognizing a true icon of the sport. What makes Jefferson Wooden's performance even more remarkable is the journey that brought her here. This is someone who describes herself as a village kid from Georgetown, South Carolina. She had just 2 partial college scholarship offers before making it to Coastal Carolina. When her father got sick, she didn't hesitate to put everything on hold to help save his life. That decision shaped who she became as both a person and an athlete. When asked about her mindset, Jefferson Wooden talks about discipline and doing the extra work needed to achieve your goals. She completely changed her lifestyle this season, working with a chef and focusing on every detail of her preparation. The numbers from her 2025 season are just incredible. She went undefeated in both the 100 and 200 meters. She had multiple races where she ran sub 10.8 times into strong headwinds. At the U.S. Championships, she ran 10.65 to equal what was then the 6th fastest time in history. She'd been building toward this moment all year. But success also brought challenges. Working with coach Dennis Mitchell, Jefferson Wooden faced criticism from some quarters. Her teammate Gabby Thomas had posted on social media that doping coaches should be banned for life, a clear reference to Mitchell's past issues with performance-enhancing drugs. When asked about these comments after her victory, Jefferson Wooden refused to engage with the controversy. She simply said she surrounds herself with people who believe in her and support her growth as an athlete. The performance in Tokyo puts Jefferson Wooden in rare company. She's now the fastest American woman alive, surpassing Carmelita Jeter on the all-time list. Only 3 women in history have run faster: Florence Griffith Joyner with her world record of 10.49, Elaine Thompson-Herah with 10.54, and Fraser Price with 10.60. When asked if she might one day chase FloJo's world record, Jefferson Wooden didn't rule it out, saying that Griffith Joyner has put a number out there that's definitely worth chasing. The same evening also saw Jamaica's Oblique Seville win the men's 100 in 9.77, with Usain Bolt watching from the stands as his countryman became the first Jamaican man to win a global 100-meter title since Bolt himself in 2015. It was a night that showcased both the past and future of sprinting. For Jefferson Wooden, this is just the beginning. She's entered in the 200 meters later this week, where she has the second fastest time in the world this year. She's aiming to become just the second woman in 30 years to complete the 100 to 200 double at a world championships. The last to do it was Fraser Price herself back in 2013. After years of being the hunter, Jefferson Wooden is now the hunted. But based on what we saw in Tokyo, that target might be exactly where she wants it. Georgetown, South Carolina, already named a day in her honor after the Olympics. They might need to make it a week after this performance. This wasn't just a victory, this was a statement that American sprinting has a new queen, and she's just getting started. Faith Kipyegon's powerful message is breaking the internet, but it's not just about medals. What she said could change the way young girls everywhere look at their future. Faith Kipyegon, the undisputed queen of middle-distance running, is heading to the Tokyo World Championships with history in her sights. Already a double Olympic and world champion, Kipyegon is chasing a rare and ambitious goal: to defend both her 1,500 meters and 5,000 meters titles, a feat no athlete has ever repeated at the world level. But for Kipyegon, Tokyo is about more than medals. Speaking to reporters ahead of the championships, she explained her philosophy simply. It's a mindset, also about preparation and being patient. It's all about what you want to achieve for the next generation to look up to you. For her, every stride is a message not just to competitors, but to young girls everywhere who see her as proof that dreams are worth chasing. From the start of her career, Kipyegon made it evident that she was not chasing short-term victories. Her training philosophy has always been rooted in consistency, not just bursts of brilliance. She believes that the difference between being good and being great is the mindset one brings to the track every single day. She has often repeated that success is not built overnight, it's a result of mental focus layered over years of work. That perspective has carried her to the very top of world athletics. Her mindset is not about chasing perfection, but about managing challenges with patience. In interviews leading up to Tokyo, she said that it takes years to reach the point where results reflect the work. She explained that even when form isn't perfect, or when a race doesn't go her way, she keeps faith in the process. That patience has been one of her strongest weapons, separating her from competitors who may look for instant results. Preparation is another cornerstone of her success. Faith Kipyegon does not train with the short-term goal of a single championship. Her preparation spans cycles carefully designed to peak when it matters most. She has spoken about how every run, every gym session, every recovery plan is mapped out with discipline. This preparation is not glamorous, but it is relentless. It's what allows her to line up at the start line knowing that she has done everything possible to be ready. The results of that preparation have been historic. In 2023, she set the 1,500-meter world record with a time of 3 minutes 48.68 seconds, a performance that stunned the athletics world. Breaking a barrier that had stood for years was not just about physical ability. It was the culmination of patience, training, and mindset aligning at the perfect moment. It was a record that validated her philosophy, proving that discipline pays off. But Faith Kipyegon is not defined by records alone. At the Nike Breaking 4 event, she attempted to run a sub-4-minute mile, something no woman has ever done. She crossed the line in 4:06, falling short of the barrier. Yet what stood out was not the result, but her response. Instead of disappointment, she spoke about the courage to attempt it and how trying itself pushes the sport forward. Her message was that failure does not define champions' attempts. By daring to try, she created belief not only in herself, but also in other women who will attempt the same milestone in the future. Her story is also defined by resilience off the track. After giving birth to her daughter, many doubted whether she could return to her best. Yet she came back stronger, adding more medals and records to her name.